right, so let's dive into email structure and seeing in details what I mean by having a nice, clear visual structure, but also the vocabulary that you're going to have to use. So following a clear structure is essential if you want to make a fast and effective email. First, you will know very quickly where you're going through, and it will be much more easier. It will be much easier for you to write your emails because you will know exactly which structure you're going to have to write. So here is the different things that you need to follow in terms of structure. So of course, you're going to start with the subject line. This is, for me, one of the most important part of the email. Then we have the greetings, the opening sentence, the main content, of course, and the conclusion and the close. Some of them are not mandatory, so it means that you don't need to write all of them. This is kind of the full structure here, but if you want, you don't need to use the conclusion, for example, and the greetings is not always necessary depending on the context. However, others need to be written absolutely, like the subject line, the main content, of course, and the close or the signature are definitely essential. So let's go through each of them one by one. You're going to have some vocabulary, so do not hesitate to take notes and write down the things that you really like so you can reuse them in your next email. First, we're going to start with the subject line. This is the first and the or the last thing that you write, but this is also the most important one. It needs to be short, clearly stating what is your email about, and it is supposed to convince your recipient to click and read your email. So this is where is your subject line, right at the top, and you really need to be careful on how you write your subject line. If you don't write it correctly, so depending on what is your email for, so if this is an email for your boss, for your friend, for a client, of course the objective will be different, but you will have pretty much the same structure. It has to be maximum 3 to 4 words. It should not contain any verb, articles, or unnecessary words. And of course, you're going to have to use like keywords from your email content. So basically, I recommend you to write it maybe at the end it's totally up to you, but I recommend you to do it once you finish to write your email, because you will know exactly what is the content of your email. So you need to select only very important words to write in your subject line. So the person who's going to read the email will know in a second what is your email about. Now let's move on to some examples. Here we have, for example, meeting schedule, order confirmation, new catalog available online. So here we have like between 2 and 4 words. So it gives you an idea of what is a great subject line. You have some exercises a bit later. So if you want to practice and see what is best in terms of writing a subject line, this is pretty much the same than French. You have to go straightforward, be simple, and in particular, do not write a full sentence. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the greetings. So greetings are salutation. This is literally the first sentence of your email. This one doesn't need to be written all the time. Like if you send an email to a person like 3 or 4 times during the day, you don't need to say hi all the time, of course. But the greetings will totally depend on who you're sending the email to. So we're going to see different examples. But first, the greetings will completely depend on what you know about the recipient, so the person you're sending the email to. It's your very first line, but you need to choose your words wisely. If you're sending this email to a client you've never talked to, you can't say hi. So you need to know the person's names or not, the gender and the position. It will change your greetings depending on what you know about this, and then you will change the level of language that you will use in your email. Let's see some examples. If you're sending the email to a group of people, best thing to say is starting with "Dear all," or you can also say "Hi everyone." This is more for friends or people you know well, like colleagues you used to work all the time, and it's a group of people you're collaborating with, this kind of things. Now, if you don't know the person, you don't know the gender, you don't know if it's a man or woman, you don't know the name, you don't know anything, you can literally just say, dear sir or madam. Be careful, there are 2 capitals for sir and madam, no E to madame. And it's important to be careful not to use the French equivalent. The French monsieur is not Mr. in English. So you can't say dear Mr. if you don't know the name. We're going to use Mr. a little bit later if you know the name, but if you don't, no, you don't use it. You dear sir. If you know it's a man, but you don't know the name, you can say dear sir. You can even say dear madam if you know it's a woman. And if you don't know, you simply say both. Okay, but make sure you don't use the French translation here. And another way also to say, like, if you don't know the gender and the name, if you don't want to say dear sir or madam, you can start also your email with to whom it may concern, which literally means that you don't know the person and you don't know who is going to read this email and if this person will be concerned about the email. Another way to start will be dear Mr., Mrs., or Miss. If you know the family name, sorry, there's a mistake on the PowerPoint, I just see it now. Family, there's just one I at the end. So if it's a first contact and you know the name and the gender, you can say dear Mr. Palmer, for example. And the last greeting would be a friend, family, or close colleague, like people you used to work all the time, you nearly friends, or you collaborate all the time. You can say hi, hello, and then the first name, or simply hi, hello with no name. Now, let's move on to the opening sentence. So the opening sentence is the very first sentence. Like you had the first line where you have greetings, and then you have the opening sentence. This one is kind of mandatory. This is where you write what is your email is about. So you need to write in one sentence. You need to sum up what is your email about, the reason why you're sending your email. Remember to be clear, simple, and concise. Clear, simple grammar, vocabulary, and not a sentence that takes 3 lines. 1 line, 2 lines if it really, really is necessary. Otherwise, you need to be very short. So the person reading your email knows in 1 second what is your email about, like in complement to the subject line. Okay, so different examples of opening sentences. We have different types of emails, and in particular 3. We have informing someone about something, replying to an email, and attaching, so sending a file, a document. If you inform somebody about something, you have different possibilities. I'm giving you 2 very simple. I'm writing to plus verb, or just a quick note, to plus verb. Just a quick note might be more for people you know well, and I'm writing to is more for people you don't know or people higher in hierarchy at work. And then we have different possible verbs like clarify, confirm, inform, let you know, reply to, request, tell you, thank you, update you, etc., etc. Of course, I'm just giving you a beginning, then you adapt to what is your content about. And here you simply adapt to what you need to say. Now, if you reply to an email, there are also other possibilities. I'm just giving you 2 so you don't have too much information. You can simply start with thanks for your email, or this is to say thanks for your email. You can replace that with thank you for your email. In reply to your email, there's lots of possibility, but if you start your email with that, we know that you are replying to an email and there's a reference. So basically you generally have the email you're replying to just below in the conversation, just after your own email. And the last situation you're sending an email would be to attach a file. So you're sending a document and you can start with please find attached, or I'm attaching this document. You can comply, you can mix both type of emails. So you can, for example, say, first, thank you for your email. Please find attached. So here I'm giving you beginnings, but remember that you can adapt. It's not like completely fixed. I'm just giving you some inspirations. Then I'm going straight forward to the conclusion because your main content will completely depend. So here there isn't like some examples of sentences. However, I recommend you to go through the lesson about polite language, which concern directly your content, like the general part of your email. But here, in terms of vocabulary and structure, the main content of your email, like the biggest paragraph in the middle, is not really concerned about vocabulary because here it's like super large. So I'm just giving you the main structure vocabulary. So the conclusion sentence, this one is not mandatory if you don't want to use it. You can simply skip this part and go directly to the signature. However, I recommend you to use it because it's kind of nice to finish an email, and this is where you also use polite language. So the conclusion sentence is one short sentence to finish your email. We have the same in French, and here are different examples you can use. So when you want a reply to your email, you can say, I look forward to hearing from you. This is a very kind of block structure. This is kind of the French dans l'attente de votre réponse. So you can say, I look forward to hearing from you. Be careful with the structure. Look forward to hearing from you. You can modify the structure with something else, like looking forward to doing business with you, looking forward to blah, blah, blah. So you just need a verb with ing, and look forward means be impatient. So this is why you kind of want a reply. You can also say, hope to hear from you soon. I hope to hear from you soon. Hoping to hear from you soon, hoping to do business with you soon, this kind of thing. So here you have an example, but again, this is an inspiration that you can adapt and modify depending on what is your email about and the type of reply you want. Another possible conclusion would be to offer more help. For example, if you're sending this email to a client, you can say, let me know if you need anything else. Do not hesitate to contact us if you need any assistance, or feel free to get in touch if you need more help. Those three can also be adapted to your message and to the type of clients you want to send. General endings, so this one can apply to all types of emails, clients, customer, colleague. Thanks for your collaboration. Thanks for anything you want to say. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice trip if the person is traveling. Hope all is well with you. All this kind of endings can really apply to all types of emails. And we finish up the structure with the close and the signature. So this one is definitely mandatory. It can be very simple or it can be a little bit more precise. In terms of structure, here it just makes it look professional. So I would recommend you to have like a professional signature. This one is easy because you do it once and then you simply use it all the time. You can kind of save it into your email, like Outlook or whatever you're using, and you simply apply it all the time to your email. So it's always the same and you don't need to think about it. A general close would be regards, best regards, all the best, included directly in your signature. That would be the French cordialement here. We have a signature. So in terms of signature, of course, I don't have like one perfect one, but this is the things I recommend you to include. So your full name with your family name in capital letters. Why capital letters is important here, because depending, if you work internationally, they are not always familiar with French names, so they don't know which name is your family name or your first name. And it's the same for you when you receive an email from a Chinese person, for example. You don't know which one is the family name or the first name. So when you answer the email, It's kind of important. So I recommend you to have like your first name in small letters and the rest in capital. Your phone number with international code. This is also very important. You need to put +33 or 0033 to make sure that the person can contact you. Your position in the company and the company name, and then your email address. I'm sorry, I'm a bit sick, so my voice is a little bit strange for recording this video, but I hope you can understand me. Right, just to finish, a quick tip I recommend you to do is to really use have this usual structure to your email template. So this is something like you can reuse all the time. So maybe you can have a formal, like always the same start, like opening sentence or this kind of things. Like you save it into your signature, for example, and then you just add it and then modify if you need to. This is kind of a quick tip to tell you. Right, so this part is over. Do not hesitate to make notes and select only the ones that you feel comfortable with to reuse.